You ever get a call from a random number, and your gut instantly says, scam? Now imagine getting that call every single. But not because you're in trouble, because your ex-roommate decided that petty revenge meant giving your number to every debt collector on the planet. Well, he thought he won. Until I turned his own mess into the sweetest form of payback he never saw coming. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, someone who thought they could walk all over you and face no consequences, this story is going to hit hard. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, and buckle in. Because justice comes with caller ID. Let's rewind to 6 months ago. I was living with someone I once considered a close friend. Let's call him Jake. We weren't besties for life or anything, but we got along well enough. We met through a mutual friend, and when I needed a roommate to split rent, he seemed like a decent option. Quiet, kept to himself, said all the right things. I'm super chill. I always clean up after myself. Rent? Always on time. You know, the usual lies. For the first 2 weeks, things were fine. Not great. Not terrible. Just fine. Then the cracks started to show. Began with small things. Dishes left to soak for days. Laundry overflowing onto the floor. Loud video game sessions at 3 a.m. on weekdays. I could deal with that. Annoying. Deal breaker. Not yet. But then came the money problems. Rent was due on the 1st. I reminded him on the 28th. Yeah, I got you, he said. The 1st came. Nothing. The 3rd, still nothing. On the 5th, I asked again. His response. Oh, I thought we were doing it on the 15th. Chill, man. I'll get it to you. No apology. No explanation. Just pure entitlement wrapped in laziness. And that was just the beginning. He started falling behind on utilities too. I'd pay the bill, then ask for his half, and suddenly he was waiting on a paycheck, between jobs, or the classic, my Venmo's acting weird. You'd think the guy was living in the Bermuda Triangle with the way he dodged responsibility. But here's the kicker, Jake wasn't broke. Not really. I saw the DoorDash bags. The PlayStation 5 he bought on sale. The constant Amazon packages. He was living a full lifestyle, just not one he intended to pay for. So, after 3 months of this freeloading circus, I snapped. I told him flat out, you either start paying your share of rent and utilities on time or you're out. And that's when the nice guy mask came off. He stormed off, slamming doors like a teenager, muttering things under his breath, acting like I'd betrayed him, like he was the victim. 2 weeks later, he moved out without notice. No forwarding address. No final payment. Just gone. I thought, good riddance. I had no idea the real revenge was just getting started. It started innocently. A missed call from an unknown number. Then another. Then 3 more over the course of a week. Each time the same question. Hello, is this Jake? Confused, I'd explain. Nope. Wrong number. But they weren't random. These were collectors. Credit card companies. Loan offices. You name it. That's when the pattern hit me like a truck. Jake had defaulted on his debts. And in some brilliant act of petty vengeance, he gave my number to every single creditor hunting him down. He handed me his financial mess like a flaming bag of garbage. First, I was livid. Furious. Imagine waking up to collection calls from 6 different states, being put on hold by angry reps, asked personal questions about accounts I'd never heard of. One woman even accused me of lying about who I was. I started second-guessing myself. Did he use my name too? Did he try to open something in my identity? Froze. I spent the next 3 hours locking down my credit, freezing every report, setting fraud alerts, double-checking every account I'd ever opened. Thankfully, miraculously, Jake wasn't that smart. He didn't try identity theft. Just humiliation. But humiliation only works if you give a damn. And that's when my mood shifted from stressed to amused. Because here's the thing, these collectors, they were desperate. And I was petty. So I started answering. Every time they called, I'd wait for the, is this Jake? Then with a cool, deadpan tone I'd say, I have zero intention of paying this debt. Then silence. Awkward confusion. Sometimes even a polite, excuse me. I'd repeat it. You may have to sue to get that money. Then hang up. No yelling. No swearing. No explanations. Just a few cold, true words. I wasn't lying. It wasn't my debt. I didn't intend to pay it. And yes, they might have to sue. To the poor sucker who actually owed it. What's beautiful is they didn't know what to do. Some would call back, desperate for clarification. Others tried to sweet-talk me into verifying my identity. But I never gave them a thing. I let them stew. And as for Jake, I found out through mutual friends that he'd moved again. No job. Still ducking calls. Still defaulting. Still burning bridges. He thought giving my number to collectors would ruin my life. Instead, I turned every single call into a personal moment of revenge. Every time my phone rang with an unknown number, I'd smirk. I have zero intention of paying this debt. Hang up. Blick. Mic drop. At one point, I even started logging the calls, tallying them like a scoreboard. Over 40 calls in 2 months. 40 little reminders that Jake was drowning in a pit of his own financial filth, and trying to drag others down with him. But I didn't sink. I floated above. Cold. Collectors kept calling and I kept serving up the same script. And after a while they stopped. Maybe they finally found him. Maybe they realized I was a dead end. Doesn't matter. What matters is that I never let his petty revenge shake me. He tried to make me miserable. Instead, he made himself unforgettable for all the wrong reasons. The true revenge wasn't loud. It wasn't flashy. It was slow, methodical, delicious. Jake will be looking over his shoulder for years. Every unknown number might be another angry creditor. Every new roommate, potential enemy. His credit, shredded. His dignity, smeared across every database from Equifax to Experian. And me. I sleep soundly. My credit is locked tight. My phone is quiet again. And Jake. He's out there still running. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't what you do to someone. It's what they do to themselves when no one's left to catch them. All you have to do is let them fall. If that revenge story gave you a little spark of justice in your soul, go ahead and smash that like button. Share your own roommate from hell story in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales where karma always finds its target.